Good morning, everyone. I'm Sam, and welcome to another edition of the OMG podcast. With me today, I am joined by a British or possibly world boxing legend, none other than former cruiserweight world champion, Mr. Johnny Nelson.
Good morning. Good morning, Sam. How are you, my friend? Nice to eventually get together
I
to
know
rock
it's
and roll with this.
been a long time coming, but here we are. Thank you for giving up your Monday morning for a little bit and
That's cool. That's no
helping us
problem.
out. Top
That's
man.
cool. That's no problem.
So as I say to all my guests, the OMG podcast is about your OMG moments in life, where you've had to stop and think, oh my God, this is a moment. It doesn't have to be positive. It doesn't have to be rosy, because as we know, life isn't always rosy and positive. But I'd love to hear, your story, how you got to where you are, the peak of your career, and perhaps discuss two or three of your OMG moments in life along the way. So let's start at the beginning.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the question. Find a way.
So we'll start at the beginning. What got you into boxing?
Just making friends. That was it. I've said many times, I got into boxing. The downside of going to the boxing club is having to box. I actually went to the boxing club to make friends, and that's where I discovered that was the path set out for me in life. And it wasn't easy. I wasn't naturally gifted, wasn't naturally talented. But that's where, I always say to people, wealth is family, wealth is community. And that's one thing I learned looking back, I now realize that's what I always craved, having family, my people, my stability around me. And that's what I saw in people, in friendships and everything. Most of my friends today, the same guys I knocked about with when I was 15, from being a kid. And most of the guys I move with are, 90% of the time are guys that I grew up with. And so that's never changed. And I value it very much. So I've gone into boxing that way. And I was kind of not hooked because I didn't like it at first. I was hooked on the relationships created there, but not hooked on what I had to do once I was there.
Boxing clubs are special places, aren't they?
Amazing places. They're amazing places. People like you and I will remember youth clubs and how important they were. Unfortunately, youth clubs don't exist now.
No.
And society is missing a massive trick in regards to getting the best out of individuals. I gather the government's talking about bringing back national service and stuff like that. And youth clubs, were such a fundamental instrument to communities growing up, which with the softly approach now, it's just being abolished, and it's just stupid. Common sense is lacking, and
it's gone out the window, hasn't it?
Yeah, so many places.
But there we go. So when was your first fight?
My first amateur fight. Oh Jesus! I can remember. I could say it was an oh my God moment, because I thought, oh my God, what am I doing here? I was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
I was holding on for dear life, thinking, why am I doing this? And I suppose it's like putting yourself in the eye of a storm, and you know how bad it can be, but you put yourself there, you're thinking, what have I actually done? We all have these silly little thoughts in our head. And sometimes we may live them out in reality and think, shit, I didn't really think this through. That was my moment. And I can remember I was amateur, and I hated it, absolutely hated it. But my mates were at the gym, so when I lost, I wasn't gutted because I wasn't bothered, because I hated it. But they were bothered when they won or lost. Well, I wasn't, because that was like the forfeit I had to go through to be in the gym. So I can remember the guys were raining punches down. I'm like, shit, I'm trying to get older and get out of the way. What am I doing here? This is crazy, this is. And each time I went back as an amateur, I always thought to myself, why have you come here again? Why have you done this again?
Yeah.
We knew what happened last time. What are you doing here? You don't like it. But I just kept finding myself there. And that was it. That the fear became just one of those things. I thought it came with it. I think I was just a nervous kid. And with me being a nervous kid, I thought I was scared, but it was nerves getting the better of me, and I didn't realize it was nerves rather than fear until I was in my late 20s.
There you go.
So I was a nervous kid.
You were pro by the time you were in your 20s, right?
Turned pro, turned professional. Lost my first 3 professional fights. Again, ambitions. I didn't really have any. I didn't want to be world champion. I didn't want to travel the world. I didn't want to do the thing I did. I was a mummy's boy, a proper mummy's boy, and so I didn't really have any true ambition because I was happy with. We had nothing, but I was
Mhm.
happy with what we had. So I didn't really have any ambition or anything. So I suppose the curious, stubborn Yorkshire lad in me kept going back, and found himself in a boxing ring.
There you go. And obviously, a big part of your boxing career, probably all of your boxing career, I'm guessing, was Brendan Ingle.
Yeah, well, that he was probably the glue that made me stick to going into the gym, because apart from making friends there, that's where my education started. It wasn't school. I
Mm.
had the reading and handwriting ability of a 10-year-old by the time I left school at 15. Um, so the true education started when I met Brendan. Brendan taught you about history without you even realize you were in the lesson. He taught you about people. He taught you life skills, which they don't teach at schools.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing he always said was, "Schools teach you to remember. I teach you to think."
There you go.
And that was probably the wise one of the wisest things he said to me. And that guy proper shaped me into the man I am today.
Sadly, we lost Brendan a few years ago, but
Mm.
for his son, his legacy and the Ingle Gym is still living on.
Oh, without a doubt, there'll never be another Brendan. There'll never be one. And his students who were listened, they are the ones that will be passing on his legacy. His sons, they are in the business of boxing. They may not love it as much as we do, but they understand the business, and
Mhm.
so therefore it's a good combination. It's a good combination for everybody.
For the people that aren't diehard boxing fans like you and I and probably a lot of people watching this, just reel off a few of the people that were schooled, shall we say, in the Ingle stable.
Well, I'll start. We'll go to let's just above my area. I don't know. The old school might know a guy called Harold Bomber Graham.
Hmm.
Harold Bomber Graham was an amazing fighter, always dubbed to be the most talented fighter never to win a world title to come out of the UK. This guy was unbelievably talented. He was in our gym. Um, Brian Anderson, you wouldn't know him, but he was Britain's first black prison governor.
Okay.
And he was a British middleweight champion, good fighter. Our gym produced, I think we produced 16 British champions, 9 European, uh, eight, 8 Commonwealth, and 6 world champions in that
That's
little
a
gym on
proper
Winterbank.
stable. That's a proper stable.
And yeah, and people don't realize that, the success we had there. And obviously, the popular one that most people know is Prince Nassim Hamid.
Hmm.
Prince Nassim Hamid, he was the one that managed to translate the things we did in the gym in public. Most of the things you did in the gym, you wouldn't do in case, you had to have real confidence to think, I'm going to do this publicly. Now, flipping over the ropes, we all tried it
Yeah.
and we fell 5 times out of 10. When Naz thought, I'm going to do it in public, we thought, shit, we'd have bets on whether or not it was going to fall or not. So, but it was that kind of stuff there, the public. They know Naz, myself, Junior Witter, Kelbrook, um, Paul Silky Jones. He was in that gym. There was many champions that came through, passed by the gym, passed through the doors.
Do you miss boxing? I know you're involved as a pundit and a fan and behind the scenes now, but do you miss it?
Do I miss it? I miss the camaraderie.
Hmm.
I miss the
The family.
but the family. I miss that selfish aspect to going into the sport. Now at the age I am, do I miss it? I'm all right. I look back and think it was a stage of my life. I don't identify myself as I'm a former world champion. It was a part of my life.
Mhm.
And that's probably the difference between me and a lot of boxers, whereas I actually didn't think I belonged. I actually thought I had a bit part in it and did my bit and stepped out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't think, God, that was me. That I wish I did. I don't think that. It's like, I don't know. I suppose it's you've gone to college, then gone to university. You've just done things in your life,
Just a
stage in your
stage.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a stage of my life, which I loved. When I eventually realized I loved it. But it was just a stage of my life. So do I miss it? No, I still train. Try and keep myself in good nick.
Not bad for an
So
old boy. Hey.
I know, I'll probably miss the 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 opportunity to be able to spend your life training all day, every day, as much as you wanted,
Mhm.
and the fitness it created and how healthy I felt.
But like you say, you're still training. I saw you on social over the weekend,
Mm,
jogging round a lake.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? So the wear and tear of boxing, obviously, it took its toll on me. I snapped both patella tendons in my knees through my career. I've had two hip replacement on either side, low back problems. So it's the wear and tear, and that's the price you pay. So I've not been able to. I used to love running.
I
Me and my
hate it.
mate, oh my goodness, me and my mate we used to go out when we was young. We used to go out, and I can remember one time the Sheffield Marathon was on, and we got in about 3 o'clock. He said the marathon's on tomorrow. Do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. 10 o'clock, we turned up at Hillsborough Park to join. We did the half marathon. That's us. I mean, we were doing times like 1:29 to do a half marathon,
Wow, that's good.
and so we loved it. So I used to love running. So I'd not been running for after my wears and tears. I used to have dreams that I was running, and then I wake up, damn, it was a dream. So I thought, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try. I'm going to see how we feel. And I did it. I'm like, hey, I felt
Too
like
bad.
Forrest Gump. When you watch Forrest Gump and he's got those braces on his
Yeah,
legs
yeah.
and then he's running, all of a sudden they
They
spring off.
ping
That was it.
off.
I'm like, I was smiling with a big stupid smile on my face.
There you go. Hopefully you're going quick enough, but no one saw the stupid smile.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what's going on in Johnny's world now?
In Johnny's world, the boxing, obviously, we're doing a lot of shows on Sky, taking us all over the place. Obviously, Saudi Arabia's got involved in the boxing, and they're putting on fights that they probably want to see. But Sky is probably still one of the strongest forces in boxing,
Hmm.
and I'm fortunate enough to be part of that team. I'm fortunate enough to be involved in an organisation that has a dedicated platform for all sports.
Yeah.
And so they're giving all geezers like me an opportunity to make a living talking about it.
It's nice when
But
your profession can become your or the other way around, sorry. Well, ex-profession slash hobby slash passion becomes your work. So it doesn't feel like work, I guess.
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like work, and that's what I'm saying. If you're in a position where you're doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work. And so I'm very fortunate in doing a job that I love doing. So it doesn't really feel like work.
And a good job you do too. But
Thank you.
so come on then, let's get to the backbone of this podcast. We've already mentioned briefly your one of your OMG moments, the first time you stepped in the ring and you thought you were
Oh
going
my
to get back.
goodness. There's a few in and out of the ring. I
Mm.
think in the ring, my oh my god, one of my oh my god moments was meeting Mike Tyson for the first time
I
and
know
him
this
knowing
story,
what,
but
yeah,
tell us
him knowing
tell
what.
tell us
Okay,
this
yeah, him
story.
knowing who I was. I was world champion and I'd not met Mike Tyson. Nobody knew who he was, obviously, back in his career. And Mike Tyson was coming to the UK, and my promoter was doing a 3-fight deal with him. My promoter rang me and said, "Come and meet Mike Tyson." I thought, "Oh my god, that's it! I'm gonna meet Mike Tyson." So this is my big moment. I'm like, shit. And I'm trying to be cool, like Johnny, be cool. And you walk in and make out as though like bad man. They're like, it's not a big deal to you. And I'm like everybody else. I'm a fanboy like everybody
Mhm.
else. If I see somebody famous, I'm like, I've got to be cool. Like it's no big
Yeah.
deal. And I'll admit to that. When I go to events with my mates, I say, boys, don't be asking for pictures. No, be cool. Be
Yeah.
cool. So that's what I do. And with Mike
Mm.
Tyson, I thought, come on, walking down Park Lane, thinking, Mike, just be cool. I'm practicing my walk, practicing what I'm going to say when I get inside. And I got inside the place, and when I saw him, he got out the ring. And Frank said, Mike, this is, and he said, this is Johnny Nelson. I'm like, oh my God, he knows I am. I'm like, big cool. I lost my cool for a bit and back up. Yeah, it's no big deal. And Mike said, is this my third opponent? And I was obviously at the back end of a conversation. I think Frank had promised him 3-fight deal. He had 2 opponents and he did 1 more. And that was me.
Mm.
And I was the last person to find out. But that when I found out, it was like press there, public. And I'm like, shit, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this?
Yeah.
And it was just like, to me, I just thought, this is surreal, man. How do I get out of this thing here? And the press were like, you're fighting Mike Tyson. I'm like, shit, how do I get out of this? And
you were lucky there, weren't you?
oh my God, you're telling me I was lucky. So he boxed Julius Francis, knocked him out in London, but then boxed Lou Savarese in Scotland, knocked him out. And then I was a third opponent.
That didn't happen.
He ran to ringside. If you see him on YouTube, you see him run to ringside, shout to something to somebody. That somebody's me saying, you sure you want some of that, motherfucker? And I'm like, another one. Oh my God, what am I doing here? Yeah, get yourself fit, fat boy.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, dickhead. And Mike like looked at it to say, what? And it was that was a dickhead moment, that. And unfortunately, he and the promoter had a fallout.
It's quite a funny fallout, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So the third fight didn't happen. But I tell everybody the story. I say I'd have done him anyway. But
Yeah.
hey, we'll never know.
Never know.
And that to me, that was the probably the biggest one. Thinking, how do you get yourself out of this, boy?
Yeah.
The pressure's on. What else? Another oh my God moment. I think so. I remember when the mobile wars first started at Brixton Academy Centre down in London. My brother used to live across the road, and so every time it was on, I'd see everybody congregating there, and I always wanted to go. I'm thinking, I'd love to do that. I'd love to go in that, but I always wanted to hand an award out, not be handed an award,
but to give one.
To give one, even then when I wasn't doing anything, I'm like, I'd love to give an award there, like to be on stage and give an award. That was it. I'd always wanted to do it, and I'd see it every year, and like I'd never managed even to get tickets to go to the mobiles. Bloody hell! And then last year, I got a call saying the mobiles are in Sheffield. Would you hand an award out?
Hey.
And I'm like, shit, what? Come on. For me, it was a big deal. I love music. I love UK soul, UK funk, UK old school. We're bad. And to get that, to me, was a big deal. So it might not be a big deal to everybody else, but I had to make out, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, no problem. But yeah, it was, to me, that was like, I was so flattered. I was so honored, and something I'd always wanted to do as a young man.
Can you remember
to hand an award out?
Who did you give the award to?
Oh, I forgot. It's all a haze. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. Yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night. Yeah, it was a good night.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, where next for Johnny Nelson? MBE. Let's talk about your MBE.
Oh yeah, that's an oh my God moment. So I got the MBE, and I actually Brendan Ingram, before he passed away, he said, you know what, I want to put you for an MBE. I went, nah, Brendan, nah, don't do that, man. And he said, why not? I said, I'm not you. Brendan was an MBE, and I said, I'm not you. You're a good man. I ain't you, Brent. You're an idiot, was his reply. And when he passed away, obviously devastated, and then somebody around me about 2 years prior to that, just talking to me about Brendan, and obviously I didn't realise I was having an interview, being interviewed without actually, I thought we were having a conversation. And I told him the story about Brendan saying, when you get an MBA, I'm going to put you for an MBA. And he said, nah, Brendan, I'm not doing that. It's for good people, giving it me. And I said to the chat, I said, I probably would now, because, try and pass on whatever Brendan's passed on to me and help Brendan, however Brendan helped me. I probably would, because to me it's homage to Brendan, because I wouldn't, that was a chance to say, look at what this guy's done. A little kid from 36-year-old crooks in Sheffield getting an MBE like me, and a loser. And so I probably would now, and that was it. Then next, a couple of years later, I got a letter through the post with a stamp on. A couple of years later, and I'm like, shit. And I thought they've got the wrong Johnny here. I thought I ain't saying nothing. Keep your mouth shut. I'm like, they've got the wrong Johnny. This ain't right. They've got the wrong Johnny. Anyway, it obviously came through. My mother had passed away, which I was gutted because she didn't see that. And I would love to have taken her to Windsor Castle, because that's something you can't buy or borrow, or pretend to have, or give to anybody as a gift. That to me would have been everything. But I ended up taking my three daughters, and you know what? It was the proudest moment for me to let them come, because they'll be able to tell their kids, that's something that they're never going to be able to do unless they marry a prince or something like that. My girls look stunning, they look beautiful. And we went to Windsor Castle, we drove down there, we had a great time, we all got on and really well. And they were like, I was just proud. I was really proud.
Wicked.
And Sheffield got behind me. Sheffield Range Rover, Sitner's Range Rover says, you know what, we want to give you one of our top motors to drive down there. And I'm driving down in this beautiful 140 grand motor. I'm like, damn. And I've got to give them enough props for it. They got behind you. And that's why I think in Sheffield, I'd struggle to leave Sheffield, because Sheffield is one of those places where they say how it is. If you're good, you'll get a tap on the back. They'll not kiss you off. If you're bad, they'll say you're crap. Fix up. And Sheffield, they supported, and went down there. My girls, Prince William, he gave me the medal. My girls, they look beautiful. They look absolutely gorgeous. And the Prince said. So I was told when I go in, when the prince shakes your hand, that means piss off, go on, off you go. So you talk and they shake your hand, that means bugger off. So and one of my daughters, the middle daughter, she's very straight laced. And so when they're explaining to me how I walk off, I'm like, right. So I pretended like I forgot what they said. So she said, Dad, right. So do you know what you do? I said, yes. I walk up to him, turn left, and walk towards him, talk, shake his hand, moonwalk, back out, do a soul spin one. No, Dad, no, don't mess it up. And so went out, spoke to him, he shook my hand. I kept holding his hand, we're talking away. And I said, it's my daughter's birthday today as well. So it's a double whammy. He said, oh, really? My girls are looking beautiful and regal. And he turned across everyone and said, the one in the middle, he waved. He turned into like the three ugly sisters. Going crazy that he waved to them. But it was a really good day. It was a really good day.
Can you actually moonwalk?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in a dancing competition back in the day. It was in Greece, was that actually? Because the girl I lost to, she did Saturday Night Fever dance, and I'm like, what? I lost to her, and I was dancing to "I Love Music" by the OJs. I was just like a baseball player. Yeah, and I could dance, man. Don't mess with me. I could dance. How can we move when all the boys go out? Obviously, we're all in our 50s, mid to late 50s. Not all of us, one or two younger. And when we go out, we still think in our head we're in our 20s, so we're all trying to formation dance and bop it all in. But yeah, we have a good laugh.
That's all good. I can see maybe Johnny Nelson on Strictly Come Dancing, perhaps.
Hey, shall I tell you what I wanted to do when I was younger?
Go on.
I know it sounds really bad. I wanted to go on, Top of the Pops and Legs and Co at the back, all the dancers. I wanted to be one of the backing dancers. I thought, I bet they have a wicked time.
They probably do, yeah.
I bet they have a wicked time. So that was I wanted to be one of the backing dancers. I just thought, hey, that's how it is.
It's all good. It's all good. Any more that you'd care to share?
I don't know. God, I could dig a right hole here. No. I think I better shut it up while I going's good. Trying to think and No. I'll keep still. But yeah, it's been interesting, my journey, and I'm 57 now. I actually got 3 beautiful daughters, a lovely granddaughter. I'm gonna have a word with my daughters to start give me some more grandkids now. So just but I need a boy. I need one boy so I can just drag it through. So it don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So we'll see.
There we go. Johnny Nelson, which isn't actually your real name, is it?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Carry on.
It is.
Go on.
Okay.
Before we
So,
go, tell this story.
okay then. So as I said, I was a really nervous, teary kid. When I don't spoke to me when I was young, I'd start blubbering. When I first started school, I remember it very clearly. They're calling out the register, and my name is Ivanson Rani Nelson. And so people struggle to pronounce Ivanson. They say Iverson, Ronnie. And so and I hated the name as it was. And like to be saying Ronnie, and I hate Ronnie, and I hate Ronnie. And so as a kid at bottom lips going when she's calling the registrar out on the first day at school, and I remember clearly. And she said, I know, we'll call him a name just for class until we all get used to saying his name. So anybody, any ideas for names? Hands to shoot up, and let's call him Morris. That was her son was called Morris. And yeah, and I looked at him as if to say, yeah, you people ain't calling me Morris in this class here. And it was a Catholic school, so we went through all the apostles and everything. And then they said John. There was two Johns in the class, and one of the kids shouted, "Let's call him Johnny." And all the kids started to sing and laugh because at school, I don't know why they didn't know at that age what a rubber Johnny was,
Right.
and so they don't laugh. And so Mrs. Lee thought, yes, we'll call him Johnny for class. And all the kids are laughing. I'm like, oh my God, from one to another. And that was it. They called me Johnny from that point on. But I can never remember being called anything else. I can never remember being called Ivanson. And at home I've always been called Johnny. My dad, my biological dad, when I met him when I was in the 30s, he referred to me. I said to him, "Why did you where's Ivanson come from? Where's the name come from?" He said, "No, Ivanson." I didn't mean until I was like 30, 31. Ivanson is very popular in my country in Dominica. I went, "Oh yeah, what was he? He was a boxer." I went, really? Yeah. And he said, "Yes." I said, "What about Ronnie?" He said, "Ronnie, after the comedian." And I went, "What comedian?" He said, Ronnie Corbett. I went, "It's Ronnie Corbett." He went, "Yes, Ronnie Corbett." So I'm like, oh God. So we went to the registrar office. They said, "What's his name?" Ronnie. And so she spelt it how it sounded.
Yeah.
And so
how she heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, how she heard it. So it's Ivanson, Ronnie, Nelson. I'm like, oh God, I'm named after a 5'4" dead white comedian. And I'm like, come on, I'm named after Ronnie Corbett. So he said, "Yeah, he's funny, very funny." I thought, but Abbott's is pretty cool now. It's a pretty cool name, but not Randy.
It's too late
cool.
now.
Yeah, Randy's not cool. Randy's not cool.
Johnny Nelson, thank you so much for giving up your morning, or at least part of it.
That's cool, man.
It's massively appreciated. I'd love you to come back on in the future. Maybe next year we'll do a Johnny Nelson part 2.
Top up. That's all. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And
that'd be cool.
Good luck with the podcast.
Thank you very much. And I'll give you a call in a bit.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Cheers.